create an Excel step chart with me in just 5 minutes. Like it so you can find it later if you don't have time right now. First, let's select all of these empty cells and press Ctrl-T to create a table. My Excel workbook on my site goes into a lot of these steps in more details with other lessons. First, we need to use the row functions, followed exactly as shown, equals row minus row function again of the header, and then the not done or gray section is going to be equals 1, hit enter, and it'll go all the way down, and then the done section is going to be showing green, and you need an if statement to say if the step on the left is less than or equal to our yellow box, we need it to say 1, and if not, it's going to be NA. Close that, and now you've got it. Now to get started on the chart, select those right 2 columns and insert a chart with marker. I'm going to click on the legend and delete it. Just press delete, we don't need it. And then let's go up to format. Let's go to the not done series. This is what's going to be on the right, and it's going to be light gray. So let's go to our paint bucket and choose a few different options here. Let's make this thicker at 10, and the color is going to be a light gray. And then let's go up to the marker. We want this to be a no border, and in the options, we were going to want that circle, so we can click on the built-in, and the size needs to be much larger. You could do 30, 35, test it out and see what you think. Then we'll go down here, and let's select our color. And so far looking good. Now let's close out of that. Next, we need to repeat the same steps because we need the green section or the done section to look right. So we're going to right click to format. You can paint fill this. And for these, we need to select a green shade. You can make this any color you want. I'm just going with green because we're showing progress. And then same thing, that needs to change to a 10, and then the marker also needs to be larger, and we need to change the marker to be the exact same green if you want to follow our format, and then go back up, and let's change this to 30. Now everything is the same size, looking good. Now the next step is to go back up to the format, and we're going to go back to the not done or the gray area, and we need to right click because we want to add a data series. So then we can format this because we need this to actually be a value from cells. We want this to say our steps, so let's select our steps and then uncheck value and uncheck the next one, and then let's go down and center this and then close the window. Then we're going to click on the axis, and we are going to delete this in a second, but first let's change it to 2. That's going to center our chart right in the middle. And then let's go back to our text and let's make it a little bit larger. You could leave it black or you could change it white. I'm going to go with white. And then we can get rid of our axis on the left and the bottom, and then let's click on the grid lines and delete those as well. Now you're free to resize your chart, and we can move it around if we need to. Over here, we need to add a title, so let's add something that makes sense. If you already have a title on your dashboard, you could just click on the title and delete it. Then I'm just going to move it around. So because our data is in a table, if you had more steps, all you need to do is drag that little arrow, and you can test it out and see that it is dynamically updating. So now I'm going to Control X this and put this on a new sheet. And I'm going to Control X and then Control V to paste. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to add checkboxes. You will need the Developer tab. I have videos in my workbook on how to do this if you need more detail, but you will need the Developer tab, insert checkbox, and then you just move it in place, and you need to right click because we are going to need to link this. So the cell link is going to be off to the right underneath our other list here of checkbox link. We've got the right cell, hit OK. Now what we want to do is test this out to make sure all of them are linked properly, and if they are, they will say true when it's checked, and they will say false when it's unchecked. Perfect. Next, we're going to need a formula. So we're going to type in equals sum of all of the checkbox results times 1, and that will turn that into a number. We need that number because we need it to link back to our original data set. So let's equal this number. And now, as you check these checkboxes, that yellow box is going to update, which is what is linked to your chart. So now let's change this text to white so you're not seeing it. So we'll change the font color to white, and we could resize this down and move it in a better place if you had a dashboard you wanted to put it on. Let's zoom out a little bit, And then now let's test it out. Every single time you delete a checkbox, it's going to remove a step. Looks good.